But in a real sense, there are many experiences that we have that we don't know how they affect us and why we do certain things. It's called priming. You have a certain experience primes you to act or think a certain way. The priming study that I want to share with you now is a fascinating study. I'm going to share with you. Hold on. If you take a look here, I want to explain to you what happened. There was a study done at a university in England in the following way. They're in the staff room. In the faculty room, they had coffee and tea that was for sale, but on the honor system. There was a suggested price for a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and there was something they had in the faculty room called an honesty box. And in the honesty box, when you were done, you'd have, when you took your cup of coffee, you'd put some money into the honesty box. Look at the honor system, no one's watching. Okay? The university, though, did an experiment. What they did was, for a period of several weeks, above the honesty box, they put a picture. No explanation, they didn't say what was going on. Some weeks, there was a picture of one week there was a picture of a set of eyes, and the next week there was a picture of some flowers. And they alternated. Okay? No explanation. Honesty box, there's a pair of eyes, or there's flowers. What's interesting about can you see the data as it's described there on the board? How did people change in terms of paying for the cups of coffee and tea? Yes? Right. So even though they know there's nobody actually watching them, they don't think that the picture of a set of eyes is actually going to know whether they're paying for the coffee and tea or not. They're not stupid. However, they're primed to behave in a certain way. If you have eyes watching you, you're going to behave a little bit better than if you've got flowers watching you. And you see, basically, again, it wasn't uniform. It's interesting to study why, like these scary looking eyes in the first week, there's a lot more money there. Then it went down to flowers and not so many people. And then every time they switched it to eyes, there was a real increase in the amount of money that people paid. The honesty box was much more full because people were primed to behave in a certain way. I gave you 3 examples of priming. Now, priming, in his book, he tries to explain why people behave in certain ways. You should be aware of it. What I want to suggest, follow me now, I'm about to get to part 3. What I want to suggest is that priming isn't only something that happens to us by other people. We also do it to ourselves and to people around us. We are responsible for shaping the culture in our schools, in our lives, and just the general experience we have. So I want to suggest that this notion of priming, which has its roots also in very famous parts of Judaism as well. Some of you may have heard the familiar phrase. It's cited in the Sefer HaChinuch, Acharei Ha'Pe'ulot Nimshachin Al Levavot, that the Sefer HaChinuch describes why it is that we have so many mitzvot. Why do we have so many mitzvot, so many details, so many actions? It seems trivial with all the details. He points out the way you act, experiences that you take, the way you experience life affects your heart, affects your soul, affects your personality. We are the sum of our behaviors. And so this notion of being primed is not only something that happens around, it's also things we do. We can prime the situation of the culture in the school also. What I'd like to suggest with you for just another 4 minutes or so is a suggestion. I have 4 suggestions for us as we approach Yom Kippur to consider taking in priming our culture in school and our lives in general. You with me? You with me, Rose?
I think so.
You think so? Okay, good. Now, 4 ways I want to suggest. I want to suggest one way, which is how we relate to the environment. I'm going to explain this in a second. The second one is how we relate to other people. The third one is how we relate to God. And the fourth one is ourselves. Environment, other people, Hashem, and ourselves. Let me explain what I mean. 4 examples. Number 1. Okay, I'm talking about life in school. I want to show you. I've had a wonderful time here the first 3 weeks of here. The guys, great place, great kids, great staff. I'm loving life here. Thank you, Cynthia. I appreciated that head nod on the point. What was that point for? Right back at you. All right, good, thank you. So, there's only one thing that's made me a little bit crazy. And those of you in my 11th grade Chumash class, I've mentioned it a couple of times already. You're probably familiar.
Yeah.
Thank you, Moshe. Okay, one thing that makes me crazy, and I'm going to ask for your help here. That is on the environment, okay? I know you've heard this a million times before in previous years, and I'm sure you've tried to fix this, and it's impossible, but let's really try. Chumash class, what I talk about when they're in that room and we look outside at lunch? It's disgusting. It's gross. I think you got Terry and his crew are picking up our garbage. Breakfast in the morning, cereal bowl, baby. It's simple. Pick it up, throw it in the garbage. It's like a nice thing to do. It's nice to the people around us. It also creates a much more pleasant environment to be living in. I don't know about you. I am guilty as the next guy of having a dirty room. I like the dirtiest room, but I know that it's bad. I don't like having a dirty room. When my room's clean, it's like delightful. It's like fun to have a dirty room because I don't like cleaning up. When you have a clean place, it affects everything that goes on. So my first thing, and the simple, I'm sure it's crazy. I'm sure all the other Bayim here, well, yeah, we've been there, tried that. But try it again. And if you see somebody who's leaving their garbage there, and what do you expect Terry to clean it up? Why should Terry clean it up? Let's try to be nice to Terry. Let's try to be nice. Let's try to have a nice environment. That's number one. Number two, others. I'm going to issue a challenge. Okay? I've tried. I said I gave myself 3 weeks to know everybody's name. And I've had I think 6-7 days of school so far, and I'm on my way. I'm going to get there. Here's my challenge to you. I think it is really wonderful how nice the kids in the school are. Very nice kids, nice guys. People are nice. Again, it's a regular school. Kids are high school kids. Some kids can be mean once in a while, but generally, very nice kids. People are nice to each other. It's a big deal in experiencing life as a teenager to be around nice people. Here's my challenge I'm going to ask you to do. Okay? Besides saying hi to people in the halls and all that kind of stuff, it's also a nice thing to know everybody's name. Okay, ready for this one? I'm going to assume that, there's no way, does anybody in the school know everybody's name? You don't know the freshmen. You don't know the freshmen yet. The seniors. You guys, seniors. Any senior guys here? Do you guys know all the 10th, 11th, 10th through 12th graders here? No. Okay, here's the challenge. Okay, gentlemen. You know all the freshmen? No way. Here, first. No, you know what? Wait, where's first or last name? Here's my challenge in terms of knowing other people. First person. Okay, when you know that sign outside my office up there, all the pictures, all the stuff right above Anna's desk? You know what I'm talking about? The pictures? Okay, here's the challenge. The first person who is able to identify, we'll white out just the pictures, who is able to know the names of every single student in, I will say, either first or last name. In WYHS, you make an appointment with me, I will test you. The first person who's able to do it, I will personally take you and a friend out for a steak dinner. Of course, I just thought environment, the surroundings, is one way we can prime the culture. You're in a culture that's beautiful, it affects you in a certain way. You're in a culture where people know each other's names and care about each other, that affects you in a certain way. The third thing is between an individual and Hashem. Again, I'm not going to tell you how we can have the greatest davening in the world. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how we're going to have it. Davening has been fine. It needs to get better, but that's not what I'm focusing on right now. I'm talking about learning. There are extra opportunities in this school to learn Torah. Whether it's going to be, we're going to roll out a Mishmar Sunday morning learning and Wednesday evening learning. There are opportunities that you don't have to do. The school offers for you. I'm going to encourage you. If you've done it in the past, do it again. If you haven't done it in the past, try doing it a little bit this year. Nice thing. Wednesday nights, you get free dinner. You get free dinner, you get to learn Torah. We're going to make it very nice. More opportunities of people learning Torah creates a culture, it primes the environment in a certain way that I think we really want to move in that direction in a very, very serious way. And my fourth way is talking about ourselves. Priming ourselves. How do you do that? What am I talking about? I want to show you one thing I think is important. I'm not going to do it justice in the 3 minutes that I have left here. But I want to introduce it. And that's the idea. I'm going to say an interesting thing, I think. The idea of being discerning consumers of culture. What's what I mean by that? Okay. Sometimes we think of, maybe most of the time we think of, I do my Jewish stuff, which is I daven, I learn, I go to school, all I do, I do mitzvot. That's my Jewish stuff. And then I've got other stuff that I do, which is like, the rest of my life. I go to movies, I play sports, I read, I watch TV, Facebook, whatever, things that I do that aren't Torah, that aren't mitzvot, it's not Jewish stuff, that's what I do. Okay. What I'm asking for is for us to think about that other stuff and create something of a hierarchy in the way we think about it. Let me tell you what I mean. I'm not saying that you have to listen to only Jewish music, but I'm saying that when you listen to music, you should realize that not all songs are the same. You should listen to the lyrics. You should listen to the lyrics and try to say oh, you know what? Actually, this is actually interesting. I can actually, grow from this as a person. This is interesting. I think about this. Consider what this means, and recognize that not all lyrics are the same. So that when you're looking at a Kanye song, the Kanye West lyrics aren't all that inspiring. Right? However, you might say to me, okay, but Belden, you might say to me, Macklemore's got interesting stuff. Like, not everything's good, but some stuff's interesting. You might say to me, shh. Again, not everything's the same. And yesterday, they announced, it was leaked out at the Super Bowl, they're performing at halftime. Bruno Mars, hey, nice guy, talented musician. It's not, look at his lyrics. It's not the same stuff as listening to a Mumford and Sons. There's stuff that I don't want to. All I'm saying is there's stuff that you can listen to that can elevate you. And it's not right to think of all the other stuff I do as not being part of my No, it should be. You should think about what this does to affect me as a Jewish person also. You're an integrated person who has one life. Not separate, existing. I'm going to do this way, and that'll. No, you should be an integrated person. And when you experience culture, whether it's music, whether it's movies, whether it's books, whether it's TV, I'm not saying don't do something that's I'm not saying don't do. I'm saying recognize there's a hierarchy. And some things can affect me in a certain way, and they can be good. The other things are not so good. They might even be bad. Maybe I shouldn't be doing it. But I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying recognize the hierarchy and allow yourself to be inspired by it and live an integrated life. That's my fourth thing. So I said 4 things that I'm challenging us to do. One of them is environment. Clean up, be like nice, normal people who create a better environment that will prime the environment in that healthy sort of way. Second thing, I said know people. And I'm going to wonder who the first person is, whether it's going to be Rabbi Huben and his wife, or we got some gentlemen of some senior boys. I think they're going to get it. The seniors I understand the seniors are at a very big advantage of the freshmen. I totally get that. If it's a freshman, I'll take you and 3 friends. They're at a disadvantage. No. 2 friends. Freshmen are. So let me explain to you. No. Freshmen are disadvantaged. The third thing I said, learning Torah. The fourth thing I'm saying, for yourself, prime how you experience life. And if this is the case, we try to take these into consideration and think about it as we approach Yom Kippur. We can take the lesson of Avraham Avinu, the Michael Jordan failing, which then allows you to succeed, and think about it seriously, so that eventually, my friends, we have a wonderful new year that is only filled with peace, happiness, and greatness.